Alright YouTube, doing a top 5 video, top 5 knives of 2016. It's a lot of knives that I've reviewed on this channel that I've had. And I figured the ones I kept throughout the year were a good indication, and there's obviously more than 5, but these are my top 5 knives of 2016. I meant to upload this before the end of the year, but I was on vacation and such. And these are in no particular order. So let's start with one of the older knives. I'm going to bring this in. This is the Microtech UTX 85. Reissued this year. Oh, that's mine. And I was stoked that they brought it back, because I've always liked the out front automatics. I've always liked the Microtechs, but the Ultratechs, which I have quite a few of, are a little big. They're kind of not always the best size for everything. So I was really happy when Microtech reintroduced the UTX 85 this year, because it's just like the perfect size for an EDC automatic. So if you can carry an automatic and you want an EDC blade, the Microtech UTX 85 is awesome. And these came out pretty much beginning of the year this year, or 2016, last year. So they've been on almost a year, and they have many different variations. Like this is a red one. I got the Blade HQ carbon fiber one recently. This was a exclusive for them for Black Friday. I got it actually on the secondary market, not off Blade HQ. But even better, same kind of blade as the red one here. This standard edge with a drop point, but you've got a nice carbon fiber scale. These are just, they're easier to operate than the Ultratechs. They have a smoother action, I feel like. The spring, because the blade is just less blade to push out of there, is just superb, and it's just awesome. So the Microtech UTX 85 is one of my top 5 knives of 2016. As you can see, I have 2 of them. Let's go ahead and scoot that out. Alright, we'll stick with Microtech for now, because they did make the list twice. And this in particular knife is the Bounty Hunter, but this was my top 5 pick here is for all of the Star Wars series of knives. Here's the Stormtrooper, and I didn't bring them all in the video. You guys have seen a video. I did a collection video of them. But I thought this was one of the coolest things a knife company has done in a long time. They took a lot of people's love of Star Wars and knives and combined it. Pretty amazing. Now, the Bounty Hunter is actually not my favorite of the group because of the serrated edge. But I just use these two as an example of the Star Wars series of Ultratechs that they released this year. The Stormtrooper is a favorite. The 85, or excuse me, not the 85. The Bounty Hunter. If they would have just came out with a standard plain edge and not serrated, would have been way cooler in my opinion. But this one still kind of takes the cake because it's Boba Fett. That's my favorite Star Wars character. And it's all battle worn. It just looks like something Boba Fett would use. So that is number 4. And actually, there's no particular order. We'll just say the next one on this list is the Microtech Star Wars series of knives for this year. Next, we're going to go with the Kaiser Ursa Minor. Now, this was a Carmel and is a Carmel Cutlery exclusive. You can only get this one on their website. It was the first Kaiser knife to have, well, of this series anyway, of the Intrepid, the Gemini, and such, to have a milled pocket clip. And that was a big upgrade over the Gemini and the Intrepid that had just the standard spring style clip. It also has the titanium backspacer, the blue anodized hardware, and the action on this guy was the best of any Kaiser knife I've found. It is just rockets out, and it's so smooth. I mean, just falls on itself. The centering's always been perfect on it. I've never had to do anything to this knife. Sometimes when you get knives, you got to fool around with them. You got to adjust the pivot. You got to, kind of tune the action. Spyderco. And this one out of the box was just buttery smooth, centered, perfect detent. And I had a lot of Kaiser knives this year. This one was my favorite of the Kaisers, and it's been in my EDC rotation for a few months now. You can see I've got some good snail trails on there from Carry. Still got the factory edge. I like the blade shape. It's kind of like the Intrepid, but smaller, around 3 inches. I think it's just a hair over 3, maybe 3¼ inches in blade length. And I'll link my reviews to these knives in the description below. So that is one of my favorite ones. It's small. It's a good size EDC. It's not too big. This one gets carried a ton. Love it. So the Kaiser Ursa Minor. Next up is the Zero Tolerance 801 BRZ, which was a sprint run done in M390 steel, and had this amazing, and obviously the 801's not a new knife. It's been out for a while. It actually was discontinued. But I love that, and this could be said of all the ZT sprint runs this year. I've got a few of them. I love that they did sprint runs this year. I love that's one thing I love like about Spyderco so much, is that they take their popular models and they re-release them in new steels and new G10 colors, or new, like the titanium military, so on and so forth. I love the ZT did that. I love this variation. This is my favorite 801. There's been a few. There's been the standard one, the black wash, the all black one. I've had them all. There was the S110V 801. The copperhead was amazing, but I could never carry that thing. It was just too pretty. This one, when I saw it, I was like, ooh, I gotta have that. I love that bronze, worn-looking finish. The chamfered holes look amazing. You got M390 steel, and the action on this is butter. Again, right out of the box. Just didn't have to make any adjustments. I haven't touched the pivot. I haven't done anything on this knife, and it out of the box was amazing. I love the 801 series. It's just a good size, a little on the bigger size, but not too big. And then the M390 steel is amazing, and then the bronze with the chamfering on the edges, and just the attention to detail in this one was so nice. I loved it. The only thing I would have changed is the black hardware, but ZT will be ZT with their black hardware. But the action, the flipping action is amazing on this. See that? Look how smooth that is. So even though the 801's on new model, this was one of my favorite top 5 knives of 2016. Last but not least, again, no order in this, is the Spyderco Spidey Chef. This was one. This was a later year release. I believe it came out in November, October timeframe, and it is incredible. It's a great knife, guys. This is one of my favorite Spydercos to date. It's got the Salt Series LC 200N type steel, where it's very, very corrosion resistant. Kind of like the H1 steel, not quite as corrosion resistant, but does have better edge holding capabilities. One of the Tai Chung knives, Martin Sly's design, like the Sly's Bowie, but the Spidey Chef is very similar actually, minus the blade shape, but very similar finish on the titanium scales, the wire pocket clip. It's super thin in the pocket. It's just a great EDC. The edge is held up great. I've used it quite a bit for food prep, for just typical EDC tasks. A lot of people thought this knife wouldn't do well as an EDC knife, that it would be only a food prep type knife. I can tell you that's completely not the case. I use it to open boxes, to pretty much what I do with all my knives. Food prep, open boxes, and maybe cut some string and just random stuff like that. But it is performed phenomenally. This is what I was carrying in my pocket today. I love the look of the titanium. It's got that really good stonewash on there. The action's super smooth on it. It's just got great ergonomics. It's lightweight, thin in the pocket. It's an awesome knife. This was one of my top 5 for 2016. I think a lot of people like the Spidey Chef. I think a lot of people haven't tried it though. I think those that have just love it, but not everyone's given it a whirl. So I recommend it highly. I recommend all the knives in these videos. If you can't carry the automatics, then there's also a lot of other good knives. I thought about including the ZT 0450 carbon fiber ZDP89. Again, that was a sprint run. I thought about including the Spyderco Advocate. There's one reason why I have not done that. Go check out the Apostle P's channel, and you'll kind of see why. Other than that, the Benchmade 940 Cabela's exclusive. Again, a lot of these are classic models. The Paramilitary M4, Paramilitary 2 M4, all classic models. Now this one is a new one. Actually, it's really the only new one. Oh, and the Ursa Minor was new. These two were the only brand new designs that came out this year. The other ones, like the Ultratechs, the UTX 85, were classic designs that the company's brought back. The 801 was a sprint run. So there was a lot of good knives, guys, but this is the top 5. These are the ones that I've kept out of all the knives I reviewed this year, and that's quite a few. I have a couple other ones, but I feel like these just kind of edged them out. So hope you guys enjoyed this top 5 video. Sorry it didn't get made in 2016, but these all were 2016 models, so you can cut me a little slack there, I guess. Oh, we want to zoom out. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. Any questions, please leave them down below. Comments, love to hear them. Love to hear a good discussion. As long as you're not rude and ignorant, then we'll have a nice discussion. If you are that way, I'm going to tell you right now that I don't tolerate that much at all on my channel. I will simply remove you from my channel. It's not the, it takes a lot, but most people are pretty civil and such, but sometimes you come across them. It's part of having a YouTube channel that you just end up deleting their comment and banning them from the channel because I just don't like that kind of negativity in my life. So, alright guys, thanks for watching the video on the top 5 knives 2016. Hope you liked it. Please leave a comment and tell me your top 5. If they're the same and you're different, we're not all in the same budget. Sometimes sometimes people bought more or less expensive knives that they thought were great. Include those. Another one that I almost brought in, but I didn't have one anymore, was the Kershaw Link. As a honorable mention because it's a budget knife, but it's an incredibly good knife. So, alright guys, that's it. Done rambling. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.